Do you remember the first time that you dipped a fry into a Wendy's Frosty just to see what it would taste like? The mixture of a salty, deep-fried potato and the smooth sweetness of a Frosty that just blends together into a miraculous dish that even Gordon Ramsay couldn't find fault in? Well, that is a bit like what PWS did with mixing a long-stroke gas piston system of an AK47 into the beautiful, modern, sleek body of an AR15. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Mark 116 Mod 2. Montage. If you've been around the piston-driven AR-15 game, then PWS is no stranger to your ears. They are the pioneers of the long-stroke AR-15, and one of the few manufacturers that are actually making guns with the operating system. But why is that? Well, today I want to talk to you about the Mark 116, but also address why you may consider a long stroke versus short stroke and determine if it actually makes a difference from a shooter's perspective. First off, I want to be very clear and state that PWS did send me this gun in order to make content with it. There's no guarantee or requirement of a good review from them, so I will be as unbiased as possible and give you guys the facts and even rate this gun as I have done with so many other rifles. But at the end of this video, we will try to not just describe this thing, but actually measure its performance. Also, to clarify, there are two different topics to discuss in this video. One, what people think a long stroke piston system is and how this lazy way of thinking has ruined their reputation. And two, how PWS has actually built the rifle and how putting an AK into an AR is an affront to God. Just kidding. So let's start with what people get wrong about long stroke gas piston systems. When researching the system, you'd think that the Mark 116 would be heavy, inaccurate, and break all the time. A quick research brings up statements like long-stroke gas piston systems are less accurate, or it's heavier and more parts wear. This is where the internet gets long-stroke piston guns wrong. All of this sounds correct theoretically, but in practice, it's just not true. For example, pistons do add weight in theory, but in practice, the PWS, even with a long-stroke system, is lighter than other popular DI guns. Take the Geisley Super Duty, for example, which is about 7 pounds dry, where this Mark 116 is only 6.8. So weight is not a pro nor a con with the PWS piston guns, in my opinion, as a 0.2 ounce difference is negligible at best. In practical applications, pros of long-stroke piston that actually mattered to me as a shooter were the following: cleaner BCG, virtually zero gas blowback, predictable recoil impulse, and we'll touch on this a lot later, easier tuning to run properly suppressed. These are pros that are inherent to the long stroke piston design. Now here are some cons that I also want to address. More parts to maintain, including the op rod, more proprietary parts that you can't always find alternative options for, less control of gas tuning due to proprietary parts, and lack of gas refinement. And on that last point, I do want to explain it just a little bit. In traditional AR-15s, it relies on gas traveling through a tube to the BCG. I can modify several variables to fine-tune how my AR runs. I can change the entry point of the gas on the barrel. I can change how much gas comes down the tube. I can even get different BCGs that alter the way gas is vented once it reaches the receiver. With the PWS system, the gas is just impacting a rod connected to the BCG. These parts are not able to be altered. All of my tuning is done at the gas block. This is a pro because it's far simpler, but a con because simplicity sacrifices tunability. Also, I know people called this out in the VKTR video, but yes, the injection pattern on that rifle when suppressed was a bit overgassed. This is due to the gas block in the VKTR being self-regulated. I find self-regulated gas blocks cater to being overgassed than undergassed. With the PWS adjustable gas block, we made simple adjustments and were able to achieve optimal case ejection, indicating it was gassed properly. It is a really simple 3-position gas block, and it's very intuitive with its markings on the adjustment knob. Just something to think about if you're a gas tinkerer. If you're out on the range often, you know how important it is to keep a steady supply of ammo on hand and not rely on last-minute restocks or inconsistent availability. That's where Ammo Squared comes in. They are America's ammunition reserve. You pick from over 70 different calibers, set your monthly budget, and then just let it build up over time. When you're ready, you ship it. Simple as that. They store everything in climate-controlled facilities, so your ammo stays in good shape until you need it. No hidden fees, no minimums, and shipping's free on orders over $250. For me, it's been a solid way to keep training ammo stocked up without having to think about it. And it's also great if you have a small budget or just want to build a stockpile up without spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars up front. It's a great way to stay ready without scrambling last minute. Alright guys, we are here out at the range. We are talking about the PWS MK116 Mod 2. So this gun does utilize a long stroke gas piston system, and we did throw this Q suppressor on here. We would have tried some other suppressors, however, we cannot take the muzzle device off, unfortunately.
Hi, Armorer here. I just want to explain why we couldn't take that muzzle device off. It's like rock set or something. I have tried darn near everything to get that off. It is not pin and welded. 100%. It's not pin and welded. I did check on the website. They don't rock set them. I think it's over torqued. I think it was over torqued from the factory.
Oh, okay. Well, while we're talking about what we have on here, we also have an OGL. Ooh. Don't ask us how we got that. We also have this Infitac, I almost said laser, thermal with a little red dot. Anyway, oh yeah, and then we have our A3 Industries grip here. So, yeah. So a quick note, because I know this will come up in the comments, the way that we have this gun set up is for more of a hunting gun. We are testing out the Infitac thermal, but I would not use this setup as your home defense, CQB, door breach-in setup. I just want to get that out there because I know people will comment on that, and I know there's a lot going on here. All right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and shoot this thing and see what makes the PWS special. $178. 166. Sorry, my glasses are dirty. Gotta clean the glasses.
You are a strange woman.
Get it from you. Okay, so first impressions of this gun. I put probably about 800 rounds through this over multiple range sessions. We are putting the last 200 rounds through it today. But I wanted to give my thoughts on it so far and because I've tested a lot of piston guns, especially lately. I have had the chance to shoot this side by side with my HK MR556 A4, as well as, oh my gosh, I am blanking on the names. Help me, Tanner.
VKTR,
That's
CMMG,
right.
BRN 180. We've had a lot of piston guns lately.
It's hard to keep up with all of them. So I've had a lot of experience with piston guns, and I'm kind of conflicted on this one, I'll be honest. So what makes this gun unique? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that it uses that long stroke gas piston system. You typically see that in something like an AK, for example. Most of the other AR-15s out there utilize a short stroke gas piston system. Now, if you've shot an AK, it is pretty chonky. Is that the right word? Chonky. Okay, so I told Tanner this analogy, but he liked it. So imagine that big guy that walks into the gym. He is jacked, but he can't move his arms for shiz. I'm not gonna say the word. For shiz, okay? He can't even get his arms up right here, okay? No mobility. That's what like an AK is to me. So I think when most people think and see this long stroke gas piston system in this gun, they think it is more similar to an AK, for example. However, this shoots more similar and it feels like a typical AR-15, even direct impingement or short stroke gas piston system. It's more similar than that to something like an AK. So like I mentioned, I have shot this gun, the PWS, back to back with, for example, my HK here. Now, I do think the PWS has a little bit of a heavier recoil. However, it is very minimal, the differences between the two. You can feel it, but I think most people probably won't be able to tell a difference unless they are shooting the guns side by side. As far as reliability, we have shot PMC X-Tac, PMC, what is it called? It's the bronze, whatever. We have shot Wolf, American Eagle, what else, Tanner? I'm trying to think. Oh, Winchester, remanufactured ammo from HSL. So we've shot many different types of rounds through this thing, 223, 556, different grains, 55, 77, all the things, right? Zero issues. The only issue we had was when we changed the adjustable gas block and undergassed the thing. However, that was just testing. We were just trying to get it tuned in. But other than that, zero issues. So the two major gripes I have about this gun is, first off, the safety selector. Now, oh, I actually got it that time. It is very stiff. I don't think it was this stiff at the very, like when we first got it. I don't know if something happened within, like internally with the like detent or whatnot, but it is very stiff. This is actually a lot easier than what I've been doing. So I am looking very weak right now. But it is very stiff, and sometimes it literally takes like me putting both my thumb and index and like pushing hard and like somehow getting it. So yeah, I look really dumb now that I'm able to like easily get it, but yeah. But I swear it works and then it doesn't. So, oh wait, now it's not gonna work. I told you, okay. Ow, broken nail, it's fine. Anyway, yeah, don't like that. Probably need to take it apart, see what's going on there internally. But that's the one major gripe. The other one is the muzzle brake, or muzzle device, like Tanner mentioned. And if he's wrong, drop it in the comments down below. But
I'm not wrong.
He's
I
not
have tried
wrong.
everything.
He says he's not wrong.
I think it's Roxette, but nowhere does it say that they use Roxette. And
well, okay,
everyone
here's
who
what we're
takes
gonna
their
do.
muzzle brake says it doesn't use Roxette.
I don't know.
I have gotten every other muzzle device off. HK, CMMG,
Okay.
VKTR.
You just lost some muscle, that's what it is.
Oh, shut up. Get out of here. I'm gonna freaking roast you on my channel.
That's
Says
why
the girl who can't actuate the safety.
Hey, I did it.
All right.
There you go. Anyway, okay, what do we want to talk about next? Okay, the trigger. It's heavier than some of the other triggers, like my HK, for example. I'm going to talk about this a lot because it's right here. But even like the VKTR, it is heavier. I believe it's like 5.5 to 6.5 pounds.
I did notice between the three. Here, you hold the camera.
Whose channel is this?
My turn to talk. You hold the camera.
Okay. I'm going to put you out of focus so nobody can look at you.
Okay. Okay, I did notice between the three, the PWS, VKTR, and we'll say the HK, the CMMG is almost not really that big of a contender here. But out of the three triggers, and it doesn't matter because you're going to switch out triggers anyway, let's be honest, you should. But this one had a cleaner break in that, like, there wasn't that wall. It was more like a mush, and it breaks some point between the mush, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
The HK has a finer wall, and I think the VKTR has the most defined wall out of all of them. I think the VKTR is the better trigger out of the three. I know we're like keep bringing the VKTR up, but we tested all these guns side by side. And then I think the PWS is a second if you like the wall being kind of that mush instead of a defined wall. Yeah, it's definitely like, I would equate it to like if the trigger was like this hook, there's like a roll and then slip, right? So it kind of rolls and then slips off. So it's much more mushier than the other triggers. It's very slight, but it's still there. And oh my gosh, you're right, you're right. Hold on. That's just because it wasn't cocked. Okay, no, sorry. That safety does get stiff though. Holy crap, like she's not lying. I'll give her that. It's stiff as fuck. And then, anyway, so yeah, that's all I have to say on the trigger. I think if you're ranking VKTR number 1, PWS number 2, HK number 3, to give you guys our biases, we were given all 3 guns the same, okay? So we did get all 3 guns. Thank you, PWS. Thank you, HK. Thank you, VKTR. So we don't have any necessarily loyalties to any other one. I will say HK is our favorite brand, just because of all the things they make, the potential of getting an MP7.
You're an HK boy?
I am. But also we have dogged on the HK.
Yeah.
Or we have biases, but we're not going to let that affect the honest truth of what we'll tell you about these guns. The PWS has won in different areas that the HK has not, and the VKTR has won in other areas that the HK has not. But yeah. So I think we're pretty fair.
It's unsafe, that's why. Oh my gosh, something popped in my hand. Got it. Yeah. Why am I rocking it like that? I do like the reset, I will say. Reset's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Let me try it one more time. Let me feel the trigger. Yeah, there's no like defined wall, but also you have to be intentional because it is a heavier trigger pull. And when I say heavy, it's nothing crazy. I'm just used to lighter triggers, so it's okay. Yeah, do you want to get a close up of that?
Yeah.
Reset actually.
You can hear that reset.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That reset's loud.
Yeah.
The reset feels really aggressive.
Yeah,
which is
it's
nice.
pretty short and very crisp, and then the trigger pull after that's crisp as well. Takes an intentional pull. So yeah, ergonomics feel pretty good. It is ambi, I will say that I do like that because I feel like that should just be standard. There's some people who don't have ambi stuff, and it makes sense if you are a cheap gun because you gotta save money somewhere because there's people out there that want the cheap stuff, right? Some people don't care about ambi. I care about ambi, especially when you're spending $2,100. I do actually like the bolt catch on the right side. It's very easy to actuate because unlike something like my HK, this isn't the easiest thing to actuate. There's like no leverage on here. So one of the biggest reasons I like piston systems is that there is virtually zero gas to the face. And that's the same thing with this gun here, especially running suppressed. It's way better than DI, way better. So that is one of the hugest pros when it comes to piston systems. I will say, okay, so the bolt carry group, as you can see, it's like, we haven't cleaned it. You haven't cleaned it, right? Okay, I'm like, I haven't touched it. Maybe he has. Yeah, I haven't cleaned it since we have put, you know, how many did I say, 800 rounds in it so far. You can see some buildup up here near the gas block and whatnot, but there's like nothing back in the receiver, which is nice. I will say, I believe it is actually cleaner than the short stroke gas piston systems I've shot. And I'm not sure exactly why that might be. I could also be wrong. That might just be in my head. But I do feel like it is cleaner. That could also be that the buildup is more up here towards the gas block. But that is my experience. So we touched on the pros and cons inherent to the long stroke system, but let's talk about how PWS implemented this system into their rifles. First off, if you watched other influencer videos or reviews, a lot of them equate this thing to an AK. I want to be honest with you. It recoils nothing like an AK. This is good and bad. It's extremely close to a short stroke Piston AR15 in that its recoil impulse is quick, predictable, and smooth. But if you're hoping for the iconic, slow, chunky, and buttery recoil of an AK, you will just not even get close to that here. It shares the system of an AK, but not the feel. I personally prefer the recoil of an AR15 in serious applications rather than an AK. AKs to me feel fun, but not as practical in my opinion. PWS takes all of the stigma around long stroke pistons and flips it on its head in a good way. Objectively, when looking at how they position themselves in the market, they are one of the best valued rifles out there. For a mid-tier price gun, it even beats a lot of the DI guns, which is crazy because DI guns typically are cheaper to make, more common, and have had more time in the market to make them efficiently. I feel this weird shift has happened where guns are getting more expensive with less new features. We are in a refinement era of the AR, and it's quite boring if I'm being honest. For around $2,000, this thing punches a bit above its belt. One feature that is a testament to the value proposition is their sub-MOA accuracy guarantee. Now, to be honest, with a 5-shot group testing at a local range, we got about 1.3 MOA using PMC Bronze and Magtech 62 grain. Not match grade stuff, and we were just bench shooting, but not too bad for a $2,000 rifle. PWS does claim to guarantee accuracy, but does specify with high grade ammo. I have seen some other users online see some good results in hitting that sub-MOA accuracy with very few complaining, if any. And I will note that as we do grow this channel, I want to create a more repeatable testing standard for accuracy. It's an area I feel we could do better on this channel, but I'm often testing this alone since Tanner has some other projects. But we're also looking at buying a ransom rest in the future instead of bench shooting off of bags, which I can find to be sometimes inconsistent. All that to say, I do want you to take our accuracy ratings and compare with others online to get a better idea of accuracy. We're working on it, but I'll be the first to admit our shortcomings in testing methodology. As far as the reliability goes, we had zero issues with this gun. Running suppressed and unsuppressed with dozens of ammo brands, it ran through it all. Fair warning, if you do use remanufactured ammo, it does void their warranty. Just something to note as well. Also, the ergonomics are good. Not amazing. The VKTR and Radian do the bolt catch and release best in my opinion, but PWS has a better catch and release than other guns, even the HK MR556 A4. So it's good, especially for the price point. With all the highlights touched on, what are my final thoughts and how would I rate this gun? Well, overall, I think PWS is a good rifle. They do all the things I'm looking for, and at its price tier, I think it's probably in the top 3 picks. It does have some shortcomings, but its quality, features, and the way they executed the long stroke piston are top notch. So typically here I'd go over the ratings one by one, but I'm just gonna put up the table all at once and you guys can pause the video to see the scores. If you are new here, we rate guns in 10 categories, with each category earning up to 6 points. The total score a gun can earn is 60. Anything above 50 is considered a good value, and anything under 40 I would not recommend unless you have a specific use case. It lands just a couple points under the HK MR556 A4 and just above the VKTR, mainly because it's a little bit cheaper with some added features like the adjustable gas block. I will say the recoil impulses are not different enough in my opinion to merit a different score than the HK or VKTR. I think the recoil of this gun is faster but a bit more punchier than the DI AR15s at this price point. A lot of people rave about piston guns having better recoil, and I will say the recoil is faster and more predictable than DI guns, but it's not softer in my opinion. It's a total preference, but if speed's your thing and you can control this rifle when you're getting rapid shots in, then you might prefer the overall recoil impulse of a piston gun, especially this long stroke piston over a DI gun. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I hope this video was super educational for you. I have learned a lot after testing these last few rifles, and if you want a sneak peek into our reviews or rankings, consider joining our Patreon. Patreon members get bonus perks and content along with access to our data sheets, which will go live at the end of the month for firearms we've tested. Well, you've made it to the end of this video, consider watching another one of my videos and catch up with all the content I put out. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the range.